Diaries of a Madman. Written by What Must I Do? Chapter 12. Aftermath. Part 4.
Why did Princess Celestia want you?
Rainbow asked when I walked into the dining room alone.
You two sure have been talking a lot.
She likes talking about my home, I said, the lie coming easily enough to my lips. And to tell me that we'll be leaving soon. Luna apparently ain't feeling too hot, so Solus is gonna be late for breakfast to make sure she's feeling alright.
Oh, I hope she is.
Fluttershy said.
Is there anything we can do for her before we leave?
Nope. Celestia's taking care of it. She should be here soonish, and you can ask her about it then. Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. Celestia walked in moments later, smiling.
My apologies for being a few minutes late,
she said.
I just needed to check up on my sister. Oh, it's alright.
Fluttershy said with her typical smile.
Is she feeling alright? Much better, yes.
Dusty said.
Sit, all of you, and let's eat. I wouldn't want you to return to Ponyville on empty stomachs.
I could barely pay attention to what was said after that, my mind too consumed by what it had dealt with. The normally pleasant fare provided by the servants tasted like better than typical tasteless southern food. Even the chariot trip home, which would normally be cause for concern even with my wings, earned little more than the tightening of my fingers on the rails. I don't know if Fluttershy or Rainbow Dash noticed, but I was very much out of it. The first thing I did when I got back home was collecting a large amount of dead wood from the forest and starting a bonfire. I don't know why. I just wanted to burn something. I found myself humming a song from a game I once played. I don't want to set the world on fire. Not the most fitting song, for at the moment I wanted to burn everything I could see, but I suppose the romance aspect of it worked well enough. The wood I found was mostly dry, so it caught easily. I made sure to pack it in well enough that it would burn late into the night. I won't lie, I'm tempted to leave the rest of that night out. No real reason for it, but it just seems like something I wouldn't need to write down to have to remember. All of Twilight's cadre, including the mayor herself, eventually joined us at the fire. Few of them had seen one so large. Pinkie Pie was the first, of course.
Hey, Navi, what's the occasion?
Pinkie Pie asked me, her voice cutting through the solemnity of the moment I was feeling. Nothing in particular, I answered. I just wanted to see something burn.
Are you sure? You didn't even bring any marshmallows. How can you have a bonfire without marshmallows?
She remonstrated me.
And you didn't invite any pony either. What kind of party is this?
It isn't a party. Feel free to invite anyone that wants to join me, though, and feel free to bring marshmallows if you want. I did not wish to spend the night with company, but alas, here you are.
I'll go tell everybody then.
She shouted with as much joy in her heart as I felt leave mine. Maybe she just devours the joys of those around her, leaving them an empty husk. Before I could ask her about it, though, she zoomed off. Rarity was, of course, the first to arrive. Just my luck.
So, Navarone, what's the occasion? Pinkie Pie told me there was a party happening here, but you don't look overly happy for the host of a party.
Pinkie Pie, as ever, has a tendency to exaggerate. What I said is that I was burning for the sake of burning, and that she could invite anyone she wanted to. She's the party planner. Me? I just wanted to burn something. Feel free to stay. I find it very therapeutic to just watch the flames. She shrugged and sat across the fire from me, likely assuming that when the rest got here, the actual party would start. Soon, she was just as engrossed in the flames as I was. Next to arrive was Fluttershy.
Oh, hello, Navarone. I didn't know Pinkie Pie got to you already. I was just walking back home and she ran into me and told me to come here.
You didn't have to go far to find me, I answered. I set the fire, after all.
Oh, I thought this was another of Pinkie Pie's plans to welcome us back. Still, it's nice to get a get-together with friends. Oh, hi, Rarity. I didn't see you over there.
Rarity muttered something, a greeting perhaps, somewhat absorbed by the gentle flickering of the flames. Rarity? I said a bit louder, getting her attention.
What? Oh, hello, Fluttershy. I was just watching the fire. I have to give it to him. Navarro knows what he's talking about when it comes to that. It is enchanting, in a way.
Fluttershy joined our impromptu circle around the fire. We were all getting into it again when Applejack arrived in a mad dash.
I got here as soon as I could. What are y'all just sitting around for? We gotta put this thing out.
Nope, I answered, shaking my head. I made this and I'll wait for it to die, but we're not killing it. It's harmless.
Pinkie Pie said there was a fire. I didn't know it was just a silly bonfire. That girl done scared me for nothing.
You know how she is. It didn't mean any harm by it, I'm sure, I said. Feel free to join the circle. I waved my arm to show I didn't care where. That's when she noticed the others. Applejack shrugged and sat next to Fluttershy, trying to chat with the others. I just went back to watching the fire, looking at the wood. Rainbow Dash was the next to show up. Her arrival was less than spectacular, crashing in the growing darkness nearby. Applejack went to make sure she was okay, and they both got to our circle laughing about something. Dash teariest herself up when she saw me.
Navarone, your fire is screwing with the winds up there. I can hardly control myself.
I answered. Thermals are a bitch. Welcome to the party, if you're listening to Pinkie Pie.
And if you're not listening to Pinkie Pie?
Starlight asked, coming out of the darkness with Spike in tow. It's just a fire, I said, noting the marshmallow pack in Spike's hands. Wonder what he does to those in his spare time, with as close as they are to Rarity. You know, I said to him, this fire might have been easier to set up if you had been around, and it might have ended up with a log atop Celestia's head, I thought with a smile.
And you should have invited me sooner,
he said as he and Twilight joined the circle. I just shrugged, turning my gaze back into the flames. Applejack and Rarity were handing out sticks for marshmallows when Pinkie Pie came skipping back. I found myself softly singing, but forced myself to stop. At least one of the ponies noticed, but didn't say anything. Everyone looked at Pinkie Pie to start the festivities, I guess. But she surprised them all when she turned to me and said,
So, Navarone, what did you have planned?
It's your show now, I said. Don't try to pin this on me. I set the fire. You made a party out of it. He gave me an exasperated look that said, You should know better by now. I would have brought up, never have I ever, but it wouldn't exactly be fair, as none of them but Spike had fingers and we didn't have any alcohol. Pinkie Pie tried for a little bit longer to get the group into something, but my mood seemed to have spread about. Aside from Pinkie Pie's indignant mutterings, silence reigned. I can't put into words how it made me feel seeing them all there. They came because Pinkie Pie invited them, but they stayed just for the pleasure of each other's company. And I was a part of them, now, even if I pretended otherwise. I had been on a roller coaster ride of decisions with life-altering consequences, right after almost dying, but I was finally among true friends. Silence reigned in our little group, aside from the gentle popping of the fire, and one by one the ponies fell asleep next to each other. Spike was out first, of course. Pinkie Pie, despite her fervent aspirations to stay up to see what the big deal with the fire was next out. Fluttershy, still tired from the exhaustion of the trip, soon joined them in sleep. Rainbow Dash and Applejack didn't last much longer, both nodding off at almost the same time. Rarity, despite trying the hardest to stay awake, was the next to fall. She didn't want to ruin her hair sleeping on the ground, but you can only fight for so long. Soon enough, it was just me and Twilight left, fighting back our demons.
So, Neverone, what's the real reason behind this?
She whispered to me. It is a balefire, I whispered to her.
Who died?
Not who, but what? I sighed. My loneliness, maybe. My attempts to distance myself from you. Perhaps my hopes for the future, now that it seems I'm shackled to Luna. I'm afraid that there are some things I must suffer alone. I could tell she formed 1,000 suspicions about that, but didn't voice any of them.
You know, we're always here for you,
Is all she said before drifting off to sleep with the rest of them. I spent the rest of the night in silence, just staring into the fire and thinking. I was stolen from my half-sleep reverie sometime after the sun had risen by a loud shriek, followed by some pitiful mewlings about ruined hair and bugs in the dirt and very other inanities. Rarity, it appeared, had awoken, bringing the rest of the ponies with her. The mood I had cultivated in the night was shattered in an instant. The ponies ripped from the world I had created for them and thrown suddenly back into their own. The poor fire was down to smoldering embers. A small flame gently licked up a few of the longer-lasting logs every now and then. But for the most part, a dull red gleam of coals was all that remained of the tempest of flame that had ruled the night before. Rarity didn't take long to calm down. Apparently, she was just surprised at her odd sleeping location and woke up not realizing where she was or why she was there. Pinkie Pie was asking Fluttershy what she missed when she slept, and if any of us ended up having fun. Fluttershy, for her part, didn't know how to answer the fun part of the question. I couldn't have helped her. Applejack and Twilight were asking Rainbow Dash more about the trip to Camelot, trying to figure out why we even went. Rainbow Dash was exaggerating the story with the moth monster that she didn't even see, making herself out to be the heroine who saved me from the jaws, or, I guess, mandibles, of doom. The other two were looking at each other askance and trying not to laugh. Spike and I just stared into the remnants of the blaze.
Feel any better?
He asked me. I wonder if he even knows what that means. Immeasurably so, I answered anyway. This has been an enlightening few days.
Was your talk with Princess Celestia really that bad?
Not just that, no. I looked death in the eyes more times in the last few days than I have in any given year of my life. And I've learned some interesting things in that time. About myself and about others. And I finally know for sure that I'm no longer alone.
You never were.
Twilight said, approaching us. Rainbow Dash's tale was over and the ponies were breaking up and heading for their respective homes.
Let's put this fire out and go home.
It was good to finally be among friends, for better or for worse. A shorter one than usual, and I apologize for that. I simply didn't calculate the right amount of story for time. I was really hoping to hit that 15-18 minute mark, but you win some, you lose some. What we don't lose, however, are my wonderful Patreons. Thank you, my tier 1s, Bounds Kindness, Jason Master, Dreamus, Portal, Hyperlink, Jason, HK4, AK Texture, Lord High, 9 Game, Macario, Pony Portrait Statement, Starlight Blaze, Rain Flicker, and Tyler Perry. My tier 2 is Captain Blue, Shadow, Charactmus, The Animated Ghost, DJ Max 2000, Elemental Wolf, H1 Wolf King, Potato 20, Mr. Crazy Deacon, Solar Comet, 212 Trooper, Mackenzie McCullough, Nocturne, Papa Lena, Redeemer of Dark, Solus Eclipse, Sword Brother Mordred, R.D. Bryant, Rihanna Dragonwolf, and Steel Spark. A large thank you to my previous Titan tiers, Dark Guardian, Danish Dash, Maverick, and User 1842. A large thank you to my current ones, Bis Eclipse, and Silent Titan. I appreciate your guys' support so much, and it means a ton to me. That aside, however, this has been Firehearth. Have a wonderful day.